Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. John Megacycle here. Okay. Another episode of When Two Worlds War coming at you. All that lab done. Lots of it. Good. That's what I need. I need lots and lots and lots of laboratories and power for what I want to do. First episode we just finished. I went through and I explained a bunch of stuff. This is where we're at right now. The enemy's starting to build some air MUs. Oh, I didn't explain when the game is over. The game is over when all enemy MUs are destroyed and all enemy facilities are destroyed. The bases aren't actually super important. Actually, you need to have a base. You can build up to 30 bases, 20 bases, something. But the game ends when the MUs and facilities are destroyed or the bases are destroyed. Yeah, bases have to exist. The thing is, the AI is so damn quick with building new bases, it becomes quite literally impossible for a human to win that way. An AI to win that way, very doable. But the way in which an AI operates is just immediate. It like literally says how many bases do I have? Is it less than 20? Build more bases. So the enemy always has legs up, a leg up on you in that regard. So I never worry about bases. I worry about facilities and MUs. Those are much easier to deal with. I'm just getting a couple farms down. Farms are hella cheap. Oh, okay, that sucked. Again, farms out there will still produce food. They just cost more to have happen. So let's go ahead and get... I think realistically, the enemy, the AI, has a real problem in terms of scale. Oh, okay, I filled up my schedule all the way. Yep, all the way, 99. Well, 0 counts as a number, so it's technically 100. So now, with all that crap that just got built, holy crap. Did we burn through 65 some odd items? 55 some odd items? Awesome. I need more mines, I think. Oh, a lot of power plants just came online. Wheat. Mine. Boop. The game is very telling where the food can be placed, where power can be placed, and where labs can be placed. Mines are a little harder. It's hard to tell on the map. Like, labs are big in yellow. Power is big in blue. Farms are big in green. I guess you can kind of tell this is maybe like a darker green on the minimap, but it's really hard to freaking tell. And the only reason why I'm really building a ton of mines now is because I want a much better slingshot my capability for laboratories. And I need mines for more laboratories. I always applaud a game that does resource management like this. Like, if you're trying to build a factory that produces something, don't have it require that material to be produced. Because of this three-way resource, like I said, mines require labs and power. Power requires labs and mines. Labs require mines and power. It tries to ensure that I don't get screwed over. If I don't have any mines, I can't build more mines. Right? Like, if all the mines are destroyed, I'm screwed. I can't build more mines. If that was set up that way, that's disastrous. But here, it's all very... If you've got 2 resources, you can build the 3rd. And that works out very well. New radar. Yep. Level 3. Tons of crap getting built. I just want to check the schedule real quick. Wow, yeah, we're just machine gunning through stuff. How are we stacking against our component opponent? 366 to 45. See, like I said, they're only producing 10 of these resources 3 times a month. I'm producing all this 3 times a month. Yep, I'm gonna wrap up in technology very quickly here. What resources do I have a ton of? I could use more power. Power's good. There's no placement requirements. It's not like it's gotta be... A power plant doesn't have to be in a certain spot. It doesn't have to be covered by anything. It just matters where you place it. That looks good. Cool. I got all this crap right here. It's all mutzed up, and that's all there is to it. Year end.
Resources produced.
Cool, level 3 silicon tri-steel. Awesome. The game does a pretty cool job adding a little bit of lore to it. There's a little bit of a description with what it is, and the pictures are different, each tech level. It looks really cool. Yep, that's our definite agri-zone. Schedule. A little bit more research. Cool. Once all that research is done, let's actually go ahead and continue. Now I want to work on space travel, and let's get air, firepower up 2 more levels, range up to 2 more levels, targeting. I want all this done, obviously, but the thing is, with the cost and everything, I don't want a really big project holding up everything else.
Resources produced.
Airspeed, the supersonic slice. I like it. Very soon we're going to design our own MU, and we're going to build our Royal Air Force. Firepower, level 3, acid deformation. That sounds so cool. Do I have all the tech levels I want? No, I'm missing 1 level of range. And then we'll start building them at tech 3. That'll at least get me even keel with the enemy. Now, the enemy is higher tech than me when the game started, but that doesn't actually necessarily matter a whole ton. As you build an MU and specify the technology, and actually we'll go through it right now. So design, I'll just create a new one called Air Max, which tells me it is air propulsion, and it's max tech everything else. So based on how you customize this MU, it'll actually change its shape. So that's what makes it kind of cool about it, based on what it's capable of. So effectively, like I was trying to say before, is there's a good amount of customization here. If I said I wanted like a land artillery thing, I could say it's land. I could max out its firepower and its range and its radar. Like, this is just an artillery thing. That's all there is to it. Or if I wanted to make like a sea craft that can transport stuff, and it's like a carrier, right? That's an option too. Or if I wanted, I think one of the ideas was like a balloon. There was some like surveillance, so I could do full air, full radar, and that's it. And all this thing does is surveillance. There's really nothing else it can do. It can't target, it can't fire, it doesn't have a range, it doesn't have any armor. So I could build like scanners and stuff. So I mean, you could do a little bit of customization, but realistically, everything I have really breaks down into 2 main suits. I've got an Air All, or an Air Max. This gives me my maximum aircraft and max everything else that relates to firepower and detection and all that crap. This is what I use for my defense. It's the most mobility. It's cheap. This is actually really cheap based on my resources and my tech level. This works out very well. Later on, I'll build something called Space Max, which will be a maxed out aircraft and a maxed out spacecraft. Now, why air and space? When you build a spacecraft, that only helps it travel in space. You have to have an air component to get it in the stratosphere and atmosphere and blah 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 in the first place, out of orbit. So you need air and space in order for it to actually get anywhere. So right now we have our Air Max. I'm just going to end it. I'm going to go ahead and build a bunch of these MUs. I'm going to choose Air Max. The patch here, which is the squad, tells me what base it's going to be built at. These are the stats of it, its costs, how many are in production, how many are in service, how many kills this MU class has done, how many of them have been destroyed, how many facilities of the enemy they've hit, its fuel, its armament and missiles, its pilot name, all the stuff is here. Estimated 5, this means how many years it'll take to finish. Now that's not true. It's just that my production cap, or my production schedule, is very full. So I'm going to hit build. It's then going to ask me what's the name of the pilot. I don't care. Just hit enter. Hotkeys are in this game. If you hit the first letter, so B, enter, 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 you get the idea. I'm going to build about 20 of these bad boys. Actually, let's go ahead and just build 30. These are going to patrol my planet, and if the enemy catches down, touches down, invades, whatever, I'll have an answer to that. So let's go ahead and check our schedule. These are moved all the way to the front, so even though it said 5 years, this is all estimated to 1 year. So it's all broken down into years, right? I'll actually get it all done this year. I'm not too sure why that said 5. Maybe 5 months, 5 turns, 5 weeks. I'm not sure. Okay, we have a bunch of MUs being built. They're being built at Lightning. What we can do is we can give each individual MU an order. Or, I just found this out, we can not bequeath, why is that a word? Why is that the word I came up with? We can give control to the computer to do one of two things. Right now it's human controlled.
Please select. Thank you.
We can give it offensive control, meaning I want you to go to the other enemy planet and screw crap up, or
Please select. Thank you.
we can give them defensive control. The computer will try to use these forces to defend us on this planet. It's handy because I don't have to micromanage a bunch of crap. It just works. Also, squad is replaceable and synonymous with base. So the base, called Lightning, is what these units are assigned to. I can also upgrade my defenses of this base. That's all there is to it. So now, if I turn on the little map here, and this, if I don't do anything, I'm just not going to touch the mouse or anything, we should see a bunch of blue lines streaking around the map. No? Oh, there you go. Yep. So now you can see a whole lot of things moving around. This is just the working path of what they're doing. More of the MUs are coming online, which means now we've got what I like to call my Royal Defense Force, my Royal Air Force. That's what I've got going on. And one more cycle should build the rest of them out.
Resources produced.
Boop. There we go. A few more. With 3 more to go. Yep, so what am I low on? I'm low on power. So let's go ahead and just slap down a bunch more power while we're waiting on that. Facility. Power.
Location.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep. Don't need a ton, but that's going to be a lot of income coming in. Cool. Liquid, solid, rocket fuel. Liquid, solid, and space. Space! As that, Tim Curry for Metal Gear 3. The one place not soiled by capitalism. Space! I do such a bad job with Tim Curry's impression. I'm sorry. Okay, so now stack for stack, I've got 31 MUs. They have 5. I still have a little more than triple. A little shy of triple. They're not beating me in any regard. And I've almost matched them in the technology stack that matters. So, what we're going to do is we're going to rush way more labs and way more power plants. Let's see here. Build. 990 is the highest capacity for any resource. Oh, there we go. I know the sounds are annoying. Trust me, I get it. And the only reason I'm playing this game is, again, I don't know, nice place in my heart. As frustrating this game can be, I've lost many a war when I was a kid, and maybe it could have been because my mind wasn't really working in full 3D. I was more akin to turn-based strategy games where you only have to really think about like one thing. Produce the resource, build the units, hit the guy, right? There's sometimes, well, most of the time, there's not a lot of economic investment required. Like, I'm not putting resources in to get a better boon of cash or whatever later. Turn-based games, real-time strategy games are usually a lot more simplistic. They're trying to facilitate a lot of action. It's not going to be a game of chess where you're sitting down and thinking about things. So when I was playing this as a kid, I used to lose a lot of the time, even on low difficulty, because I took so long to do stuff and I was mobilizing my forces too early and I wasn't investing in my economy at all, and it just sucked. It sucked. So coming back to this as an adult and really seeing it, really makes me feel good. Makes me feel shiny because I can say like, hey, this game was difficult when I was a kid, and I didn't. Did I even? Oh, I did have the manual. I just didn't want to frickin' read it. I was more of a doer, and let's figure this out by touching it and smelling and tasting and figuring out how this works. Like, it's like almost like if somebody gave you a lemon for the first time. It's like if they say, "Oh, don't eat that," it's very bitter, or it's very sour, or it's very sweet, or no matter what somebody tells you, I'd be like, you know what? I'll bite into it like an apple. Let's figure this out. Figuring stuff out is the thing of life, isn't it? Just give it a try. Give it a try. Have some fun. That's what I say. Oh, filled up my schedule cap. Okay.
Resources produced.
Oh, this should be fun. Watch the minimap. See all that white just pop up? Oh, combat.
Resources produced.
We win. So we'll get a readout of how many times red is the enemy, how many times they are hit, and how the battle progresses. So, okay, they got some space. They have the capability to come here and mess with me. That is fine by me. Oh, we've already killed 3 MUs? I thought that was the first combat. Weird. Also, please note, we are surpassing them in technology. Again, because I push so hard. I'm producing 219 psi points, or lab points. He's only producing 37. So I'm going to be able to really ramp up a lot of things. And now that I've got... Oh, they all built. Amazing. How are we on? Oh, gosh, we can go crazy on the labs. Crazy, crazy. Yep. Oh. Oh, that's my bad. There's no reason for me not to go crazy on laboratories. It's the resources I'm not using, which are mine and power. So this makes perfect time for us to just get at it. Oh, and we're full. And resources produced. Watch the screen. Ka-chunk. All those labs just finished. Let's let our resources build up a little bit.
Resources produced.
So now that I said on... Oh, I didn't really explain computer defense. Oh, I kind of did. The units will just kind of patrol around and make sure that the peace is kept and stuff like that. It's a very dumb way to do things. There's other commands in here you can say, I want you to hunt enemy units. I want you to search or scan or patrol a certain area. You can give it fairly complex-ish rules. But like I said, I just want to get the units moving and mobile and just see what we can do with stuff.
Resources produced.
So there's really not a ton I'm expecting here. Cool. Superheaters. Range, armor, missile power, range. I think that'll get us all to level 5 or close to it. Let's take a gander. I want level 5s before I start harassing the enemy. Level 5 air. Level 5 space. I wouldn't mind level 6 firepower. Level 6 range. Level 6 targeting. Level 5, that's fine. Okay, now what we're going to build is another base. Oh, it is 20. Okay. So we already have lightning built. We'll select another moniker. Let's say chainsaw is fine. And we'll select where the heck we want it. I always like my bases relatively close together. Right there is fine. Thank you kindly. So now we have the word chainsaw here. Oh, a little bit of combat. Red down. Awesome. So after a little while, the chainsaw base will be built. And what it'll act as, yep, there we go. It'll act as a squad of its own. Again, base and squad are kind of synonymous for the same thing. I don't know why the game took all this effort to differentiate the two of them, but whatever. Let's go ahead and increase our base defense. This new base is under my complete control, so all units crafted there won't do anything until I give them orders. So let's go ahead and build our space max. So, 4 air, 4 space, 4 firepower, 4 range, 5 target, 4 armor, 5 radar. Now, this is significantly more expensive than the aircraft we had. I think it was mostly like Tech 3 or something. Yeah, this is like twice to 3 times more expensive. So the game does a good balancing act with the more complex you have a unit, the more expensive it is, right? Kind of makes sense. Okay. Just shower me with tech. Amazing. I have a bunch of resources. It's time for significantly more labs. Significantly more labs. They're gonna have to send me all the way to rehabs after I'm done building all these labs. What? I'm an idiot, and you're here with me, and that's probably both our faults. Okay, these labs are now super cheap considering how much resource I'm producing. And again, I think really the difference is in the AI capability, like low, medium, hard, very hard. I've beaten a very hard on the hardest planet, which is the silicon? Heavy silicon? I don't remember. There's also scenarios you can play that are pre-built with the enemy having certain resources and whatever. But it's just the AI is just faster. Like, they take less delay to do what they should be doing. This is actually kind of nice. And tons of labs. This is actually kind of cool to see the AI actually ramping up. Like, this is actually pretty darn good. But, I mean, compare pound to pound, man. I'm 10, 11, 12, 13 times your laboratory effort. He hasn't evolved his tech level at all. I've gone from 1 to 6. Pretty... I'm gonna murder. I'm gonna get my murder on. This is gonna be good. Atomic corruption. Oof. Love the name of that. It just has a good, warm feeling to it, doesn't it? Atomic corruption. It also sounds like a Naruto move, maybe? Some sort of jutsu? There's corruption jutsus, and then there's atomic corruption or something. I'm just going to chuck down a few mines. This stuff is super cheap. We're still swimming in power, and it doesn't take very many lab at all. Let's go ahead and get some more farms. I'm going to need at least 100 if I'm going to max out my MU count. Food is calculated. I've never once run out of food, but if you're running low on food, it comes out of your surplus. Again, the most surplus you can have is 990. And then, like, that's it. Like, I don't know what happens when they run out of food. I think they run out of fuel and missiles or something. I'm not entirely sure. I don't mean to find out. Cool. And ton of facilities and more research. Awesome. Month end.
Resources Mu lost. Mu lost.
Okay, I lost 2 Mews in that battle.
Mu lost.
3.
Resources produced.
Wow, they are sending some stuff. What I think I want to do is I want to start refitting my Mews. Oh, wait. Let's redesign Air Max. This is a significant upgrade from what I had. Very cool. So let's first of all build a few more so we max out 30, right? So I need 4.
Workstation message.
Cool. And then what I'll do is I'll start upgrading all the other Mews I have. This game also does like hit points and armor interestingly. A unit doesn't have hit points per se. It has armor. And every time it takes damage, it loses an armor level. If I understand that correctly, that's how that works.
Resources produced.
Okay, so... Okay. So now order, Mew refit. These are all of the aircrafts I have and all the Mews I have. This is all of their stats broken down. And if I click on it, it'll tell me this is how much this is going to cost to refit this to the latest stack. So what I really want to do is I want to find these that are mostly zeros. I don't know why they're much cheaper than something with numbers in it, but either way, I'm just going to grab a bunch of these like 2s and 4s and 3s. This either signifies that they're not up to spec or they're damaged for whatever reason, either combat or whatever. So now in the schedule, I have a bunch of these. They act like they're getting built for the first time. They're really not. They just need respec. So either, again, an increase of armor or weaponry or supply or whatever. But again, I want to keep it so that way my aerial superiority in my base is uncontested. It just cannot be beat. So how many more do we got? A bunch more. You can kind of do some mental math here, and you can see how much I have versus how much I need. I need way more power. So let's go ahead and rectify that immediately. Facility. Let's go somewhere else. I really don't like that top-down nonsense. Here we go. And now that I've got a healthy Air Force flying around, it almost doesn't even matter where I put these resources. I'm going to need a ton of room regardless, so... Cool. And these should be built like immediately, then I'm going to do it again. Yep, big old band of white right there. Amazing.
Select location.
This is kind of what I've said before with other RTS games, like other strategy games in general, is you really have two opponents. Even if you're against one person. The first opponent is obviously your enemy. It's important that you defeat your enemy. That's the whole point of a game like this. You're supposed to outbest your opponent, right? Get in there, rough them up, kill them, beat them up, whatever, however the game works. The point is you want to fight your opponent. The other foe you have to face is yourself. And it's important to figure out how planning works, how resources work, how logistics works, how management works, however a game literally plays itself. It's important that you have enough resources to commit war. And if you don't, not good. You're literally fighting against yourself because you didn't provide yourself enough resources to commit battle in the first place. Alright, we're moving along nicely. How many power plants do I have now? 373. Cool. I'm gonna need way more. How are we looking? Okay. Let's just go right back here. There we go. That worked. Mouse is kind of touchy, obviously. It's a DOS game. This is a not DOS mouse. DOSBox does an excellent job with everything. There's not a single complaint I have about it. It's customizable, it works, it plays well. There's nothing I'd change about it. I love it. It works very well. Very no fuss solution to emulation. Okay, well, it just added a ton more power plants. Come on, give me the stuff. Give me the stuff. Give me the P. Yeah, power plant. Power plant. Okay. What are we up to right now? Yep, still... Oh, wow, I have tons of lab resources. Let's go ahead and start designing a little bit higher tech levels. I could probably get 3 levels of armor right now. 2 levels at a minimum. Right? If I did the math right. Come on, give me the stuff. Give me the stuff, I'll call it an episode.
Resources produced.
Steel dome, silicon quartzite. And I think that's good for this episode. A lot of infrastructure. You can kind of see that it really snowballs really quickly. As long as you emphasize that resource generation first, give your enemy a little time to build up, because we'll build up way faster. Anyway, another episode of When Two Worlds War is in the books. Thank you for joining me. My name's John Megacycle, and I hope to see you next time. Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. Thanks for checking out my video. I also want to take a moment to thank all my supporters and donators, and if you'd like to join up with me and game with my crew, all the information to get connected is in the description below. Thanks again, and I hope to catch you next time.